Hey guys, the Brown Rail fan here. Just doing another working on the layout kind of day. Now, as you can see, I got foam. I have three 4x8 sheets. So hopefully, we'll be able to get some more progress on the layout quite quickly now. As I'm sure everyone can tell since the last video, I've completely torn up. Well, no, it wasn't pinned down, but I took everything off the board and put this on top. The other ones won't have any plywood underneath. I'm gonna take the plywood off this guy too, actually. So you can put point motors and stuff underneath. See, the main plan for this layout is to model the Prairie Dog Central. I don't know if I mentioned that before. Now, locomotive-wise, this can be a pain. Simply because Prairie Dog Central is number 3, their 440, is a combination of an American 440 and a like if you want to, for example, look online, but if I remember, I'll put pictures up. But it's basically Bachmann's American 440 funnel, the wider funnel, with another Bachmann 440 that's later on 440, not an American style one. Why are these struggling? And there are basically some boilers from one, a cab from one, from like 5 or 6 different types. Then the boiler, I think I said that already, of another, a tender from another. Basically, there isn't one stock kind of looking style for it. So it's a little harder to do. Why isn't this piece getting? Because yeah, no, the Prairie Dog Central, it's a straight line, but I'm going to have it bendy to fit over the 3 boards. However, I'll also be going up to Warren, which is still served today, but with, by the, I believe it's the Central Railway Manitoba, if I had to take a guess. Though I don't really know. I'm like half a millimeter too long. But so I will be modeling that as well, and that end is actually the end we're working on right now. Like I should barely fit in there now. And I am pinning the track and not gluing it simply because we're on foam, so it's just as easy to pin as it is to glue, and pinning is a little easier to maneuver if you need to. That's a lot quicker too. So fit the fish plates here. So yeah, and then so I also have to customize a complete set of coaches and a caboose to look like the exact Prairie Dog Central ones. The caboose will be a little easier, but the coaches are a little different. And any missing ties I will be filling in with spare ties at a later date. So don't worry if you see like 5 ties missing, I'm going to be filling them all in before I ballast. I don't have near enough ballast for the layout anyways. I have to get some more. I often use Woodland Scenics. I can't remember the exact blend. I think it's the mixed blend I want to say. Can't quite remember though. And the container I have is not down here right now. I am doing the fish plates off camera just because I would struggle to put them on in real life if I was trying to do it at the camera side. Well, I'll try to, I guess, but... Here we go. Oh, that one fell off. I'm also not using any steel track on the layout. I refuse to use steel. There we go. So somehow the point shifted. Hold up. And I'm aware some of these are exposed point motors. I'm not too keen on them, but I have them, so I might as well use them. And they don't bother me all that much. Especially because this is the Warren section, so I'm already heavily modifying Warren anyways. The Paradox Central at Inkster, which is the start of it, and then Gross Isles, which is in between Warren and Inkster, will be a lot more realistic. Besides, of course, the dual track main line. This one sleeper just doesn't want to sit down, so right before I ballast this, I'll pull those out, but just for right now so it stays, I'll pin them there. And I will be putting some wiring on this line, on the main line. It's just currently not on the side of the camera. So, because what we're going to be doing right now is, yeah, I'm sorry about all these wires. They're all from the point motors I wired up a little way too early. Oh, no, that one has a point motor on it too. Oh, I forgot about that. So I'll put this one here then, because it's already wired up. Now, where you guys cannot see what I'm doing, so let me move you. I'm just going to connect these two right now. Where are all my fish plates? There's my fish plates. You know, I've never actually put foam on a layout before. This is a first for me. Oh wait, that's gonna end badly. I meant to put a gap space there. Oh, this is the gap space track, I think. I don't have a gap space track, hold up. Because otherwise the point and the point motor will run into each other, and that would not be very good. Also, to try and make the curve around this, I'll be going onto the other board, which I haven't actually built the legs for yet. So it's just size-wise right now, I'm guessing. And you know what, I'll just cut this piece down to size. Some of this has been troublesome to cut today. There we go. Pull the end sleeper off. Just because it makes putting fish plates on so much easier, so I'll just put them on later. So yeah, Warren in real life only has, I think, it has a Y just like Girls Isles and Inkster do. And there's only actually a single track main line anywhere. Prairie Dog Central does not have a dual track main line. Be cool if they did, but they don't. They're just casually flying pieces of rail. Yeah, it should be it's gonna be a fairly large load, as I said, with the 3 4x8 pieces of foam. And it's all 1.5 inches thick. That piece just doesn't want to go on. Like I'm filming this on December 31st. Yeah, this won't go out well until the new year. Because I actually already have other videos lined up that I haven't put up yet. Because all getting ready for the channel's relaunch and everything, you know. Why is this one refusing to go on now? Oh my. There we go. It only took a little wiggling to get that in. And a lot of brute force. And if anyone's wondering, the main line will not affect this point here. I probably should double check that before I just go randomly saying it, And all the point motors will have wires that get drilled either at the back, probably at the back, for all the, for everything just to drop through. So the wiring will not be visible. It's just visible right now because I haven't done that yet. Oh yeah, the point motor will be out of the way. So ignore all this wiring. I'll try to get it more out of the way. There we go. Oh, I completely missed the rail there. See, this one will go into the stage, or into the shed that you guys saw in the last video. It's a little closer to me now than it was before, I think. But again, I just was waiting to place it till I had the outer main line curves put in place, so I knew where I was going. And then we'll put this guy here. I would show you guys these point motors working. They do work. I did test them when they were attached to the yard, but I have since, of course, taken away the yard. So, there's nowhere to test them. Yeah, the yard's actually going to have another section. It won't just be the main yard. Gotta make sure this point line's up. I'll move you guys a little bit again. It'll be... Yeah, you guys will be able to see, because it's going from one point here to one point here, and the other point is kind of ish in its spot. Because I just don't know how long it needs to be. And I do test to make sure none of the track is steel before I put it on. I messed up with the mainline corners over there. And with the inner side one, I thought I checked, but I didn't. So I had to take the entire half of it off because it was all steel. And I refuse to use steel. I will not use it. I refuse to. Just because it rusts so badly. That, you know, I just don't want to fight with that. I do have a bit of old steel track, actually. That will never get used with me. You know, I'm just going to cut it in here so it's completely fresh. So yeah, it's... so basically I'm going to have a bunch of steel track that's sitting around doing nothing because I will not use it. Is it necessarily the best way of doing it? Probably not. But I have so much other just nickel plate flexi track, and I mean a ton of it, that I'm not too concerned. Yes, okay, so I'll actually move you guys a little over here. I was cutting this piece here, and then I realized it's a perfect length to go between this point and the point that's just off camera. I'll be showing you guys in just a second. After this, I'll probably do a quick normal update for the layout so you guys can kind of get an idea of the whole thing and the whole idea. Now, when I do say the 15x4, this board that we're on here is an 8x4, but it'll actually be longer because the side wall, which is the narrow wall that's just to my right, it's only 14 feet, I believe, across. So I'm going to have 2 feet. So this board will actually be 10 feet wider. And that's 4 feet from wall to wall. So this entire board itself will actually come out about 6 feet more to my left here. Or so. I only have actually about a foot more to move there, but we're also about 4 or 5 feet off the wall. So it'll end up lining up. I think. I hope. I haven't actually done the math on that. This is the magnet I use for testing steel track. I have no clue what I'm going to do with all the steel track. I don't know if I'm just going to, you know, rip all the rail off and use the sleepers at some point, which is unlikely. It'll probably just sit around till, you know, for a while, and I'll do nothing with it, and then I'll realize, why do I still have this? In fact, this point here, it's also one of the ones that needs to have its thing, point motor drilled. I did pin it because they're easy to remove and they're going to go in the exact same place. But this is the point motor going underneath. It's under the table one. I have 3 under the tables. Most of these that have above, they'll stay above tables. I'm not going to switch them, but, you know, probably should. But again, this is the Warren area. It's going to have a lot more of weird just looking things, so I might as well leave it. This point right here is actually going to go off into a little bit of more of a yard right to on the same side of the shed you guys are on. The shed isn't actually glued down. I actually have to raise it a little bit because the doors are not clearing the track for some reason. So I have to clear it. I have to raise it up a little bit. It's a Walther's Kip cornerstone one that I built. Where's that piece of track? Oh, there it is. Next course is laying some rail. I'm just gonna, while I get this length, I'm not gonna have it on camera, just so you guys can still, well, otherwise you guys will be blinded. I can't really show that on camera. I'm cutting a piece of flexi-track right now the right length. That piece just went flying. Oh, that one just completely broke. Guess I should probably quickly pin this track in front of me here so it doesn't move. So yeah, I'm going to be putting a grain elevator here at Warren, more on the back of the layout there, and separate siding, or, somewhere around here, I think. Well, I should finish painting this track before I pin the point. But I'm unsure yet if I should include anything else. Because Gross Isles just has a station, and that Y. I'm not going to be counting any of the Ys because that would take up way too much room. And quite frankly, they do nothing when you have a tail chasing layout. Because their main purpose in real life is to let number 3 turn around. But of course, I don't need to worry about that if I'm at a tail chaser, and I will eventually be putting in a turntable, probably at Gross Isles. Although I might not put a turntable at all, because quite frankly, if I'm running a tail chaser, it'll go from everything back to where it's supposed to be anyway, so I'm not too worried, honestly. And now I'll make sure this is quickly all cut properly. Yep, so now there you go. I'm gonna quickly just throw the plates on the other side. No, I don't know why I pinned down the point here. So I put the piece of track in the middle. Yeah, no one said I was the brightest. Just keeping an eye on the time here. Because I saw a bunch of videos I'm uploading and it's taking a lot longer than I expected. So my phone's space quite full because I have I want to say 50 gigs of video on there. If not more. Maybe it's actually, yeah, because I think it makes up actually about 60 when you include all the scripts for my other channel and everything. It's quite a lot in any case. So now, as you guys can see, there are fish plates on the end that you guys can see. Or at least I assume you can see it. I probably shouldn't be assuming, but And that is so I can just slide the piece into here. And then, one of the rails ended up being way out of joint with the other one. That's not what's supposed to happen. Hold up. Why is that? Oh, I put it in backwards, that's why. Hold up. You guys got the idea from what I was doing there, so I'll just quickly do that part off camera while I do this part on camera. I probably won't have trains running on this layout for quite a bit yet. Just because I don't have any power hooked up to the layout yet. Oh no. The only bad thing about doing what I did is it can be really hard to line this up. There we go, lined it perfectly. That point is not jammed, and nor is this one. So we're just going to pin down this main line here. This piece of flexi track here. Yeah, I've been talking about building a layout for years, so it's kind of weird that I'm actually finally building it. I think I meant to build it when this channel started 3 years ago, I think it was now. Well, I haven't been posting for all 3 years, because kind of did a lot at the start and burned myself out with both my channels, and that jazz. I since learned my mistakes, or my lessons from that. See, we're not actually going to continue the main line in this video. We're going to go to the yard. Continue building over here. I'm actually using a 3D printed phone holder right now for things like this. It's really nice. My dad made it a few years ago, and I can adjust the length on it, I can adjust the height and everything with other pieces I have for it. So that's really nice. See, now what we're doing is we're going to build the yard. Now, what I envision here is simply a grain hopper kind of right beside the, not here, but right beside or a bit farther from the shed, and about a few points, or a few sidings. Not too many. I'm thinking probably about 2-ish for trains, and then another one that's going to end up connecting to the section there. I'm aware they're normally on the main line kind of thing, or any, but, this is Warren. The main line actually, the line, it's CN's Oak Point subdivision, or former, I guess I should say, because the Paradox Central bought it back in the 90s when CN abandoned it. Although it's still, and then after Warren, all the track's been torn up. Some of the roadbed's been made into trails, but for the most part, it's completely abandoned and torn up. Paradox Central does not operate the grain trains. However, the Paradox Central is owned by the Vintage Locomotive Society, and they own I believe it's called the Manitoba Central Railway or something like that. But in any case, if you ever go to the Paradox Central and you see a Black C40-2, that's the railroad I'm talking about. And it goes up with its one engine to get hoppers there, I believe. Just based off the track and everything, there couldn't be another alternative, I don't think. Now, please bear in mind that I'm using my best judgment there. It might not actually be the case. I don't know. Trying to get this to line up really nicely here. So I put this back here. It's not always too close. It'll hit here. So actually, you know what? Yeah, actually, that works pretty well if I just put a little gap there. Not coincidentally sweet. Or should I just... Actually, I'm going to use this bigger piece. Yeah, I only have a few minutes left on the recording here, so I better wrap this up real quick. Oh, there's already fish plates on them. Because here I have to put another gap anyways, or the point motors will run into each other, or the track will run into the point motor. I would recommend using undertable ones, but if you already have overtop ones, you might as well use them in an area you don't really care about as much. Like in terms of being realistic-wise, I mean, this area is not going to be super realistic, like the Warren area. So because I'm making it already a little more what I want to, and changing things. So I mean, I might as well change this. This is where all the above point motors go. This one needs another one removed. Ay. This one's just 2 rails and 2 sleepers. And again, I'll be putting them on later. Put some more on there later just so they're not in the way, but I'll have to make them tops of them flush. But don't worry, I will have them so they won't look terrible. I'll probably be building the next extension to it, like those 2 other boards. Probably have them built in the next couple of weeks, at most. But like by the time this video comes up, they've probably been made already. I don't, not going to say guarantee, but I'm pretty sure. In fact, I might be doing that later today. I'm just not 100% sure. I have the boards, I have the 2x4s, which I'll be cutting down to 1x4s for it. There we go. So I'm going to quickly give you guys top tour of the layout now. So the shed's here, the curve's there. It'll continue there. I just need to make a flexi track one for the outside because I ran out of these curves I've run out of. Yeah, and all these curves, they're all this. Which is kind of annoying because I need a lot more of these, but I'll just use flexi track. So I haven't pinned, I'll pin this yet after I put the camera down, but this is the shed. This is the one that I said, as you can see, I need to raise it up a little bit so the doors aren't hitting. yeah, that's what we did today. Have some steel track there, some track I was working with. That's where that piece flew into that. That is the steel track just that I've gotten out of that I'm getting rid of. I have a bunch more. Somewhere, I don't actually know where all these straights I had that were steel went. So I have some straights lying around somewhere. I don't know where they are. They're probably somewhere in the mass pallet track I have the table to the left of me, but one piece keeps popping up and is really irritating me. Because I can't pin this middle piece. Like a million. Don't worry, these screws get removed when I ballast it. Because when I ballast it, I'll put an extra weight on it. It's just so the layout doesn't shift in the meantime. And I did build this portion here off camera. Well, this part I didn't, but this part I did. Along with the main line, the shed and everything here, because I kind of showed you guys that in the last episode. Granted, I did shift this to being this kind of a point instead of being one like this. And I just think it looks a little bit better. There are currently no engines in there. But anyways, this is Brand Rail Fan signing off, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.